कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते जयतां सुरतो पंगो मम मन्दिर्गतिर्मतिः मत्सर्वसपदाम्भोधौ राधा मदनमोहनौ दिव्यवृन्दावरण्यकल्पाद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधश्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानं स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्ये वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर्नाथश्रियस्तु नः तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमस्ते गिरिराजाय गोवर्धननामिने अशेषक्लेशनाशाय परमानन्ददायिने हन्ताय मद्रिरबलहरिदासवर्यो यद्रामकृष्णचरणस्पर्शप्रमोदः मानन्तनोति सह गोगणयोस्तयोर्यात् पानीयसूयवसकन्दरकन्दमूलैः गोवर्धनो जयति शैलकुलाधिराजो यो गोपिकाभिरुदितो हरिदासवर्यः कृष्णेन सक्रमभङ्गकुटार्चितो यः सप्ताहमस्य करपद्मतलेऽप्यवस्थित सप्ताहमेव अच्युतपस्तपङ्कजे भृङ्गायमानं फलमूलकन्दरैः संसेव्यमानं हरिमात्मविन्दकैर्गोवर्धनाद्रिं शिरसां नमामि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे अनेक कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हे कृष्ण माता जी।
Where were we last time?
Text 36 माता जी, canto 2 chapter 7 text 36.
Chapter 7, right? Chapter 7, scheduled
Chapter
incarnation.
7, yes माता जी. 36 text.
36, yes. कालेन मिलिता दधियामव ऋष्यनृणां स्तोकायुषाम् स्वनिगमो बत दूरपारः त्वनुयुगं स हि सत्यवत्यां वेदध्रुमं वीतपशो विभजिष्यति स्म. So Kalena, in the course of time, Milita Diyam. So about the Vyasadeva incarnation has been given. Of the less intelligent persons, Avimrishya, considering the difficulties, Runam, the humanity in large, because upcoming is the Kali Yuga, na? So in the Kali Yuga, there will be so much of difficulties for the humanity, Stokayusham, and they will be short-lived. And on top of that, Swanigamaha. That is why what he did was he compiled the Vedas, which was compiled in the Vedic literatures. He put them in writing. But Vimla, mute your phone. Duraparaha, with great difficulties. Avirhitaha, having appeared to Anuyugam, that in the terms of the age, Saha, the Lord, he certainly, Satyavatyam, in the womb of Satyavati, Vedatrumam, the desire tree of the Vedas, Vitapashaha, by division of the branches, Vibhajishyati, will divide Sma, as it were. So what did Lord do? He saw the Kali Yuga doshas. And that is why he, in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati Vyasadeva, will consider the compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent people with short life. And thus he will divide the tree of the Vedic knowledge into different branches. So he will first make it easy. The whole Vedic, if you give literature, it will be very difficult. So first he will divide it into 4 parts. And then according to the circumstances of the particular age. In this way he will be giving. Okay. Okay. Next will come as Buddha. So Adi Satviki Mataji, please read this 36th verse, 7th chapter, canto 2.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
36. Yes. Kalena milita dhiyam abamrishaninang stokayusang swanigama batatura paraha abirhitastanu yogang sahi sattavatyang vedodrumang vitapaswa vivaji swati sma. Translation. Translate.
Voice is not heard.
Translation and purport. Somebody is talking, so I thought I'll stop. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord himself in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati Vyasadeva will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life. And thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of the particular age. Purport. Herein Brahma mentions the future compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam for the short-lived persons of the Kali age. As explained in the first canto, the less intelligent persons of the age of Kali would be not only short-lived but also perplexed with so many problems of life due to the awkward situation of the godless human society. Advancement of material comforts of the body is actively in the mode of ignorance according to the laws of material nature. Real advancement of knowledge means progress of knowledge in self-realization. But in the age of Kali, the less intelligent men mistakenly consider the short lifetime of 100 years, now factually reduced to about 40 or 60 years, to be all in all. They are less intelligent because they have no information of the eternity of life. They identify with the temporary material body existing for 40 years and consider it the only basic principle of life. Such persons are described as equal to the asses and bulls. But the Lord, as the compassionate Father of all living beings, imparts unto them the vast Vedic knowledge in short treatises like the Bhagavad Gita, and for the graduates, the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Puranas and the Mahabharata are also similarly made by Vyasadeva for the different types of men in the modes of material nature. But none of them are independent of the Vedic principles. Thank you, Mataji.
Next verse. Devadvisham nigamavartmani nishtitanam पुरभिर्मयेन विहिताभिर् अदर्शतुर्भिः लोकान् गृणतां मतिविमोहम् अतिप्रलोभम् वेषं विदाय बहुभाष्यत औपधर्म्यम्. Now about now, Buddhaji, Lord Buddha incarnation, Devadvisham. So actually those who are envious of the devotees, Nigama, they are also envious on the devotees who are on the path of the Vedas, Nishkitanam, they are well situated. So these atheists, They were also well versed in the Vedic scientific knowledge that is given. Then they annihilate inhabitants of different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets, prepared by the great scientists, Maya. So what they are doing is, they are trying Purvi, it is by the rockets. Which rocket? Mayan rocket. So with this Maya rocket, what they're trying to do, which is not seen, but this mentality of Maya, with that they're trying to destroy. Ghritam, tam means they're trying to kill. Pati Mimohatam. In this way, they're trying to bewilder the mind. So then what Lord does, okay, then Lord also bewilders their mind. He also looks very attractive and he has appeared as Buddha. And in this way, he is also bewildering them. Vidhaya. Having done so, Bahubhashyate will talk very much. Anu, anu, Anupadharmyam. Sub-religious principles. He is not talking irreligious principles. He is talking sub-religious principles. Very beautiful. He is talking in that in such a way that people are completely bewildered. What to do? They do or not. In this way, he is actually bewildering everyone. Because they are bewildering, no? So then Krishna says, okay, if you are bewildering, I will also bewilder you. Okay. Kusum, read. Your voice is not heard, Kusum. Okay, Krishna Priya, will you read? Or Vimala read?
Okay, Mataji, I'll read.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Read.
देव दिशा निगम वर्तमनि निष्ठितानां उर्भिर्मरेण विहिताभिर्दृश्यतुर्भिः लोकान् घ्नतां मति विमोहम् अति प्रलोभम् वेषं विधाय बहुभाष्यत औप्यधर्म्यम्. Translation: When the atheists, after being well versed in the Vedic scientific knowledge, annihilate inhabitants of different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets prepared by the great scientist Maya, the Lord will bewilder their minds by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principles. Purport: This incarnation of Lord Buddha is not the same Buddha incarnation we have in the present history of mankind. According to Sri Jeev Goswami, the Buddha incarnation mentioned in this verse appeared in a different Kali age. In the duration of life of one Manu, there are more than 72 Kaliyugs, and in one of them, the particular type of Buddha mentioned here would appear. Lord Buddha incarnates at a time when the people are most materialistic and preaches common sense religious principles. Such ahimsa is not a religious principle itself, but it is an important quality for persons who are actually religious. It is a common sense religion because one is advised to do no harm to any other animal or living being because such harmful actions are equally harmful to he who does the harm. But before learning these principles of non-violence, one has to learn two other principles, namely to be humble and to be prideless. Unless one is humble and prideless, one cannot be harmless and non-violent. And after being non-violent, one has to learn tolerance and simplicity of living. One must offer respects to the great religious preachers and spiritual leaders and also train the senses for controlled action, learning to be unattached to family and home and enacting devotional service to the Lord, etc. At the ultimate stage, one has to accept the Lord and become his devotee. Otherwise, there is no religion. In religious principles, there must be God in the center. Otherwise, simple moral instructions are merely sub-religious principles, generally known as upadharma or nearness to religious principles. Hare Krishna.
Okay, now the last incarnation about the Kali Yuga. At the end of the Kali Yuga, that is Kalki Avatara will be spoken. Yarihi alayeshwapi satam na hare kathasyo आषण्डिनो द्विजजना वृषलानृदेवहम् स्वाहा स्वाधा स्वाहा स्वधा वशदिति स्म गिरो न यत्र शास्ता भविष्यति कलेर्भगवान् युगान्ते. So in the end of the Kali Yuga, Yugante, Yugantah. So when this incarnation, when Lord is going to take this incarnation, when no topics, na hare katha, no topics of Lord will happen, at that time, even in the residence of so-called saints also, in the respectable gentlemen also, but Lord's topic will not be there. And then, just see what type of saints they are. Dvijajanaha. So in this way, they will declare that they are all Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, everything. Vishalaha, the lower class, Shudras. And what is happening is, it will be transferred. The government is transferred to the hands of ministers elected from whom? Lower class, Shudra class. And in this way, these people will elect them. And nothing is known as a technique of sacrifice. So in the time, Lord is going to appear. They will not know how to do the sacrifice. Swaha, Swadhaha. Swadha means the ingredients. They don't know what type of ingredients has to be put. That is the time Lord is going to appear as Kalki Avatara. So Krishna Priya read.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Text 38. Yarhalayeshvapi satam na hare katha syuhu pashandino dvijajana vrushala nrudevaha स्वाहा स्वधा वषडिति स्म गिरो न यत्र शास्त्रा भविष्यति कलेर्भगवान् युगान्ते. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Therefore, at the end of Kali Yuga, when there exist no topics on the subject of God, even at the residence of so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of the three higher castes, and when the power of government is transferred to the hands of ministers elected from the low-born Sudra class, or those less than them, and when nothing is known of the techniques of sacrifice, even by word, at that time the Lord will appear as the supreme chastier. Purport. The symptoms of the worst condition of the material world at the last stage of this age, called Kali Yuga, are stated herein. The sum and substance of such conditions is godlessness. Even the so-called saints and higher castes of the social orders, generally known as the Dvijajanas or the twice born, will become atheists. As such, all of them will practically forget even the holy name of the Lord and what to speak of his activities. The higher castes of society, namely the intelligent class of men guiding the destinies of the social orders, the administrative class of men guiding the law and order of the society, and the productive class of men guiding the economic development of the society, must all be properly well versed in knowledge of the Supreme Lord, knowing factually his name, quality, pastimes, and entourage, paraphernalia, and personalities. The saints and the higher castes or order of the society are judged by their proper proportion of the knowledge in the science of God or tattva jnana, and not by any kind of birthright or bodily designations. Such designations without any knowledge of the science of the God and practical knowledge of the devotional service are considered to be all decorations of dead bodies. And when there is too much inclination of these decorated dead bodies in society, their develop is so so many anomalies in the progressive, peaceful life of the human being. Because of the lack of training or culture in the upper section of the social orders, they are no more to be discerned as the Dvijajanas or the twice born. The significance of being twice born has been explained in many places in these great literatures. And again, one is reminded here with that birth, executed by the sex life of the father and the mother, is called animal birth. But such animal birth and progress of life on the animal principles of eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating, without any scientific culture of spiritual life, is called the Sudra life. Or to be more explicit, the uncultured life of the lower class of men. It is stated herein that the governmental power of society in the Kali Yuga will be passed over to the uncultured, godless laborer classes of men, and thus the Nridevas or the ministers of the government will be the Brasalsa or the uncultured lower class men of society. No one can expect any peace and prosperity in a human society full of uncultured lower class of men. The symptoms of such uncultured social animals are already in vogue, and it is the duty of the leaders of men to take note of it and try to reform the social order by introducing the principles of twice born men, trained in the science of God consciousness. This can be done by expanding the culture of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. In the degraded condition of human society, the Lord incarnates as a Kalki Avatara and kills all the demonic without mercy. Hare Krishna.
सर्गे तपोहं ऋषयो नवये प्रदेशः स्थाने धनधर्ममख मन्वमर मन्वमनरावनीशः अन्त्वे त्वधर्महरमन्युवशासुराद्य माया विभूतय इमः Shakti-bhajaham. To the beginning of the creation, there are finance. Myself, Brahma, and the Prajapatis, the great myself, Brahma, in the Brahma is speaking. The great sages who generate, and during the maintenance of the creation, there are Lord Vishnu, the demigods with controlling powers, the kings of different planets. But at the end, there is a region, and then Lord Shiva, and that is full of anger, etc. All of them are different representative manifestations of the energy of the supreme power, the Lord. So, Sarge means in the beginning of creation. What is in the beginning of creation? What is there? Finance is there. First of all, even Brahmaji is starting with the finance only. Tap has been told. All the sages are there. And in this way, Prajapatis are there. In the in the middle, maintenance is there. First creation is there, maintenance is there. And for the maintenance, Lord Vishnu is there. And in this way, the Manu and all these people are maintaining, demigods, everybody are maintaining. In the last destruction, so naturally, one of the Kala avatar is Lord Shiva. So he manifests anger, Manu, Vasha. In this way, the atheists has to be killed, the demons has to be killed, the enemies of the Lord has to be, the devotees have to be killed. So in this way, very nicely it has been presented. That Brahmaji says in the beginning, the responsibility has been given to me. The Lord manifests for the for the maintenance and destruction. Lord Shiva is. Okay. Adi Satvik Mataji, read.
Yes, Mataji, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Sloka 39. Sarge tapaha hamrishaya nabaje prajeshaha sthane hata dharma maka manva marabanishaha ante tadharma haramanyu Vasasuradhyaha Maya Vibhutaya Imaha Purushakti Bhajaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At the beginning of creation, there are penance, myself, Brahma, and the Prajapatis, the great sages who generate. Then, during the maintenance of the creation, there are Lord Vishnu, the demigods with controlling powers, and the kings of different planets. But at the end, there is irreligion, and then Lord Shiva and the atheist, full of anger, etc. All of them are different representative manifestations of energy of the supreme power, the Lord. Purport. The material world is created by the energy of the Lord, which is manifested in the beginning of the creation of the penance. By the penance of Brahmaji, the first living being in the creation. And then there are 9 Prajapatis known as great sages in the stage when the creation is maintained. There are devotional service to Lord Vishnu or factual religion. The different demigods and the kings of different planets who maintain the world. At last, when the creation is preparing to wind up, there is first the principle of irreligion. Then Lord Shiva, along with the atheist, full of anger, but all of them are but different manifestations of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahadev, Shiva, are different incarnations of the different modes of material nature. Vishnu is the Lord of the mode of goodness, Brahma is the Lord of the mode of passion, and Shiva is the Lord of the mode of ignorance. Ultimately, the material creation is but a temporary manifestation meant to give the chance of liberation to the conditioned souls who are entrapped in the material world. And one who develops the mode of goodness under the protection of Lord Vishnu has the greatest chance of being liberated by following the Vaishnava principles and thus being promoted to the kingdom of God. No more to return to this miserable material world. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
विष्णोर्नु वीर्यगणनाकतमोऽर्हतीह यः पार्थिवान्यपि कविर्विममेरजांसि चस्कम्भयः स्वरहसास्खलतात् त्रिपृष्ठम् यस्मात् त्रिसाम्यसत् नादुरु Kampayanam. So, who can describe completely the prowess of Vishnu? Even the scientists who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe cannot do so, because it is he only who, in the swarm of Trivikrama, moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet, Satyaloka, up to the neutral state of the 3 modes of material nature, and all were moved. With Trivikrama has been bestowed. Vishnu knew Vishnu. How can we know the power of Vishnu? Ulanam. It's not so easy to understand, especially to the scientists, Parthavinani, the atoms. The great scientists who may have counted the atoms, still they cannot catch up with Suruhasaha. How? Because with his 2 legs, with his, then what he did? Prishtam, the topmost planetary system, Samyaha, the neutral state, everything he captured. So it's very difficult to understand Krishna. Krishna Priya Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 40. विष्णोर्वीर्यगणनां कतमोऽर्हतीह यः पार्थिवान्यपि कविर्मिममे रजांसि चष्कम्भयः स्वरः सस्वखलता त्रिपृष्ठम् यस्मात् त्रिसम्य सदना दुरुकम्पयानम्. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Who can describe completely the powers of Vishnu? Even the scientists who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe cannot do so, because it is he only who is his form of Trivikrama moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet, Satyaloka, up to the neutral state of the three modes of material nature, and all were moved. Purport. The highest scientific advancement of the material scientists is atomic energy, but the material scientist is not able to have an estimation of the particles of atoms contained in the whole universe. But even if one is able to count such atomic particles or is able to roll up the sky like one is bedding, even the one is unable to estimate the extent of the prowess and energy of the Supreme Lord. He is known as Trivikrama because once in his incarnation of Vamana, he expanded his leg beyond the highest planetary system, Satyaloka, and reached the neutral state of the modes of nature called the covering of material world. There are 7 layers of the material coverings over the material sky, and the Lord could penetrate even those coverings. With his toe, he made a hole through which the water of the causeless ocean filters into the material sky, and the current is known as the sacred Ganges, which purifies the planet of the three worlds. In other words, no one is equal to the transcendently powerful Vishnu. He is omnipotent, and no one is equal to or greater than him. Hare Krishna.
नान्तं विदाम्यहममी मुनयोग्रजास्ते मायाबलस्य पुरुषस्य कुतो वराये गायन् गुणान् दशशत दश दशशतानन आदिदेवः शेषो धुनापि समवस्यपि नास्य पारम् न अन्तः वदामि. Even I don't know. Neither these sages, Muneha, they don't know you before, born before you. They don't know this omnipotent personality of God. And so what can others know who are born after us? How can they know? Even the first incarnation of the Lord, namely Shesha, has not been able to reach the limit of such knowledge, although he is describing the qualities of the Lord with 10,100 means how much? 10,000 faces. With that, so many faces, he is also trying to describe, but he is also Dasha Shata Amna. He is also singing, but very difficult to know about him. Okay, Adi Sati, Mataji, read.
Yes, Mataji, Hari Bol. 41. Nastang vidamyaha mami munayaha grajaste maya balasya purusasya kutaha varaye gayan gunan dasha shatanan adi devaha sheshe hadunapi samavasyati nasya param. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Neither I nor all the sages born before you know fully the omnipotent personality of Godhead. So what can others who were born after us know about him? Even the first incarnation of the Lord, namely Sesha, has not been able to reach the limit of such knowledge, although he is describing the qualities of the Lord with 1,000 faces. Purport: the omnipotent personality of Godhead has primarily three potential manifestations, namely internal, external, and marginal potencies. With unlimited expansions of these three energies. As such, the potential expansions can never be calculated by anyone because even the personality of God Himself, as the incarnation of Sesha, cannot estimate the potencies, although He has been describing them continuously with His 1,000 faces. Thank you, Mataji.
So who can know him? Yesham cha esha Bhagavan Dayayedanantah Sarvatmana Shritapado Yadi Nirvyadikam Edustaram Atitaranti cha Devamaya Naisham Mamaham Itidhi Shwa Shigala Bhakshe.
Wow.
Only those, Lord says. Here, Brahmaji is saying, Lord really bestows mercy. That Anantaha, that unlimited person, He bestows mercy without reservation to whom? Ashrita Padaha, one who is surrendered. And that too without any pretensions, he surrendered. Then he can overcome Dussaram, this insurmountable this material world, this paraphernalia, everything can be easily surpassed. Deva Mayam, these are the diverse energies of the Lord. But na esha, mama aham, not so easy to know about Lord. Iti bhi shwa shigala bhakshe. So those who are attached to this body, which is meant to be eaten by the dogs and jackals, cannot understand. Not so easy to understand Lord. Those who are attached to the body, they cannot understand Lord. But those who are surrendered to Lord, they can easily understand Krishna. So when Brahma says, even I cannot understand, that refers to his humility. Those who are humble, they don't say that we have understood Lord. Because Lord is Ananta. And Ananta Shesha finds also difficult to understand him fully. Lord's glories are endless. Okay. Vimla reads.
Hare Krishna. Esham sa esha Bhagavan dayedanantah sarvatmana shrito pado yadi nirvyalikam te dustaram titaranti cha deva mayam naisham mama hamiti hi shriva shrigala bhakshe. Translation: but anyone who is specifically favored by the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, due to unalloyed surrender unto the service of the Lord, can overcome the insurmountable ocean of illusions and can understand the Lord. But those who are attached to this body, which is meant to be eaten at the end by dogs and jackals, cannot do so. Purport: the unalloyed devotees of the Lord know the glories of the Lord in the sense that they can understand how great the Lord is and how great is his expansion of diverse energy. Those who are attached to the perishable body can hardly enter into the realm of science of Godhead. The whole materialistic world, based on the conception of the material body as the self, is ignorant of the science of God. The materialist is always busy working for the welfare of the material body, not only his own but also those of his children, kinsmen, community men, countrymen, etc. The materialists have many branches of philanthropic and altruistic activities from a political, national, and international angle of vision, but none of the field work can go beyond the jurisdiction of the misconception of identifying the material body with the spirit soul. Unless, therefore, one is saved from the wrong conception of the body and the soul, there is no knowledge of Godhead, and unless there is knowledge of God, all advancement of material civilization, however dazzling, should be considered a failure. Hare Krishna.
Yes. 43 to 45. वेदाहं मङ्गपरमस्य हि योगमायाम् यूयं भवश्च भगवान् अथ दैत्यसुवर्यः पत्नी मनोः स च मनुश्च तत् आत्मजश्च प्राचीनभर्हेर्भुरङ्गपूतध्रुवश्च इक्ष्वाकुतैलमुचुकुन्द विदेह गान्धी राघवाम्बरीष तदरागयनाहुषाद्यः मान्धात्र अलर्कशतधन्वनु रन्ति देवव्रतो बलिरमूर्तयरो दिलीपः अमूर्तरयो दिलीपः सौभरि उतङ्कशिबिदेवलपि पिप्पलाद सारस्वतोद्धव पराशरभूरिशेनः ये अन्ये विभीषण हनुमद उपेन्द्रदयितः पार्थार्षिषेण विदुर उत देववर्यः. So very, very difficult to know him. O Narada, he says, even for me it is difficult to know about Lord Paramasya Yogamaya, his potency. But yes, because we are surrendered souls, we can know. We know how he acts through Yogamaya potency. So his potencies are known by great devotees. So although the potencies are knowable and unknowable and immeasurable, still because we are all surrendered, we know how he is acting. So how he is functioning through the Yogamaya potency, that we can understand. So then who all know him? So all his name is Shiva. Then the great kings of the theistic family, namely Prahlad Maharaj, Swayambhu Manu, his wife Satarupa, Shatarupa, his sons and daughters like Priyavrata, Uttanapada, Akuti, Devati, Prasuti, Prachina Barhi, and Rubhu, Anga, the father of Ravena, Maharaj Dhruva, Ikshvaku, Aila, Muchukunda, Maharaj Janak, Gadhi, Raghu, Ambarish, Sagara, Gaya, Nahusha, Mandhata, Alarka, Shatadhanve, Anu, Tantideva, Bhishma, Bali, Amrutaraya, Amurtharaya, then Dilipa, Shauravi, Utanka, Shibi, Devala, Piplada, Saraswata, Uddhava, Parashara, Purishen, Bhishana, Hanumana, Sugya Goswami, Arjuna, Arishtena, Vidura, Sutta, Deva. Read the purport directly. Don't have to read the verse. Just read the purport, Krishna Priya.
Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam Mataji. All the great devotees of the Lord, as mentioned above, we flourished in the past or present, and all the devotees of the Lord who will come in the future are aware of the different potencies of the Lord, along with the potency of his name, quality, pastimes, and entourage, personality, etc. And how do they know? Certainly, it is not by mental speculation, nor by any attempt by dint of limited instructions of knowledge. By the limited instructions of knowledge, either the sense or the material instruments like microscope and telescope, one cannot even fully know the Lord's material potencies. which are manifested before our eyes. For example, there are many millions and billions of planets far, far beyond the scientists' calculation. But these are only the manifestations of the Lord's material energy. What can the scientists hope to know of the spiritual potency of the Lord by such material efforts? Mental speculation by adding some dozens of ifs and maybes cannot aid the advancement of knowledge. On the contrary, such mental speculations will only end in despair by dismissing the case abruptly and declaring the non existence of God. The sane person, therefore, ceases to speculate on subjects beyond the jurisdiction of his tiny brain. And as a matter of course, he tries to learn to surrender unto the Supreme Lord, who alone can lead one to the platform of real knowledge. In the Upanishads, it is clearly said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can never be known simply by working very hard and taxing the good brain, nor can he be known simply by mental speculation and jugglery of words. The Lord is knowable only by one who is a surrendered soul. Here in Brahmaji, the greatest of all material living beings, knowledge thus truth. Therefore, the fruitless spoiling of energy by pursuing the path of experimental knowledge must be given up. One should gain knowledge by surrendering up unto the Lord and by acknowledging the authority of persons mentioned herein. The Lord is unlimited, and by the grace of the Yogamaya helps the surrendered soul to know Him proportionately with the advance of one's surrender. Hare Krishna. Mataji, can I try to read these verses if you are?
Yeah, you can read.
Hey,
Read.
I'll read. Thank you. वेदाहमङ्गपरमस्य हि योगमायाम् यूयं भवस्व भगवान् ददैच वर्यः पत्नीं मनोः स च मनुस्व तथात्मजास्व प्राचीनबर्हिरुभुरङ्ग उत ध्रुवस्व इक्ष्वाकुरेलमुचकुन्दविदेहगाधी रघ्वं भरीशसगरागयनाहु साज्यः बान्धात्रलर्कसतधन्वनु रन्ति देवा देवव्रतो बलिरमूर्तरयो दिलीपः सौबर्ह्युतङ्गसिबिदेवलपिप्पलाद सारस्वतोध्वरपरासर भूरिषेणाः ये अन्यविभीषण हनुमद्रुपदेन्द्रदत्ता पार्धर्ष्टि शेण विदुरस्वतु देववर्याः. हरे कृष्ण.
So stop here. Mancha kalpataru dasha kapa sindhu devcha patitanam